healthcare, there is often too much information and not enough time. Here at the Melanin Initiative, we avoid TMI by breaking things down into language you can understand. We create a safe space for you to ask your questions and share our nursing perspective without taking up too much of your time. We're so excited to welcome back Tonja Johnson. She is the executive director, patient advocate, and founder of Beautifully Unblemished, a vitiligo support group. This is her second time on the show. First time she came and shared her journey. Make sure you go back and watch that. We'll put the link in the description box. Today, we're going to learn all about Beautifully Unblemished and how we can support them. If you're new here, welcome to the Melanin Initiative. I'm Dr. Kimberly Madison, a doctorally prepared nurse practitioner, and one of your co-hosts here at the Melanin Initiative, along with Alicia and Geraldine, who send their love in their absence. We are a health literacy podcast offering our nursing perspective. When we say health literacy, we're talking about your ability to obtain information, to understand that information, and then to use it to manage your health and advocate for others. By watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast app, we hope you feel empowered to ask questions, educated on how you can manage your health, and confident to navigate the healthcare system. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you can be notified when we release new episodes. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a subscribe button, there's a thumbs up, there's a bell you can ring. If you're on your podcast app, there might be another button that says subscribe or follow. This way, every time someone like you is looking for information like this and they put common words in the description box, this will be at the top of that result. And it'll make sure the people who need to hear this information get access to it. Remember, this show is for educational purposes only. The opinions expressed here are opinions alone. They are not a representation of any of our affiliations. If you're having a medical emergency, you should seek medical attention from your healthcare provider. If you're thinking you might be having a physical emergency, you can call 911. If you or someone you know might be having a mental health emergency, you can call 988. Tonja, welcome back to the Melanin Initiative.
Well, thank you for having me.
We told everyone they have to go back and watch your first episode so they can hear all about your journey. But it's just in a few couple sentences, if you could just tell us kind of who you are and what you do when you're not on podcast.
So I am Tonja Johnson, the Executive Director and Patient Advocate for Beautifully Unblemished Vitiligo Support Group here in Florida. And when I'm not on podcast, I enjoy praise and worship. I am a praise and worshiper at my church, so I truly enjoy doing that. And I love traveling. So I get to travel a little bit, not as much as I would like to, but I do enjoy traveling. So a little bit about me.
You want to shout your church out?
Of course, Pilgrim Rest Free Will Baptist Church, Bishop Kenneth Brown is our
Okay.
pastor.
And then you like to travel. So where are the last 3 places you went that weren't related to work?
Okay, so San Diego, it was work and pleasure. I went to the American Academy of Dermatology convention out in San Diego, but that was also my birthday week. So I got a chance to celebrate my birthday with my best friends and my daughter and a couple of her best friends. So yeah, it was really, really nice. Had a wonderful time.
Girls trip.
Yes, it was a girls' trip, a true girls' trip.
And the other 2 locations?
So St. Martin was the last place that I went. It was work too, but some pleasure. So I had a speaking engagement in St. Martin back in December. So that was my first time going there, and it was beautiful. Oh my God, I love the water. So it was gorgeous. I love St. Martin. I can't wait to get back.
And one more.
One more. Where else? Where else? Where else? Um, Trying to think, was the last place that I went? Oh, DC.
Hmm.
Went to DC. That was for work, but I get pleasure in that too. I have my little guilty pleasures in that as well. So DC for when I went on Capitol Hill, but I love visiting DC. You know, it's always different sights to see each time I go. So it was a good trip, great trip.
Did you get to do any sightseeing?
We did. Yes,
Oh,
we
okay.
did.
Where did you
So
go?
we went to the American Museum again, the African American Museum. I had to go back a second time because I didn't get to finish the first time. And then we did some, actually, we went on to the White House. I didn't get to see the White House the last time I was there. So I made it a point that I wanted to get to see the White House the second time that I went. So yeah, it was great.
Well, yeah, that museum, the African American Museum. I mean, even if you get there when it opens, it's
Yeah,
almost nearly impossible to
yeah,
see the whole thing in a day. So yeah, if you've never been, we highly recommend going. It's a wonderful experience, really
it
well put
is.
together. The food is good too. Did you go to the
Yeah,
restaurant?
we did. We also went to the Smithsonian
Oh,
Museum.
okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was very, very
lots of
nice.
good museums here.
Yeah, it was very
And
nice.
then, what was the other thing you mentioned?
The Where in DC?
Yeah, that you did.
The Smithsonian?
Yeah, you mentioned African American Museum. You mentioned something else. I
Oh,
was
the
gonna.
White House. We
Oh,
was
yeah, the
able to
White
go
House.
to the White
Yeah.
House. Yeah.
Did you just
Didn't
take
get in, but
pictures
I was
out?
able to get my picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done a tour either, but I would like to one day. I
Yeah,
would really like to volunteer during during Christmas.
yes. Yes. 'Cause it's beautiful during Christmas.
That seems like a
I
really.
mean, we see it on TV. I haven't seen it in person, but I can only imagine what it looks like in person.
Before we jump into our questions, I'm curious, what's your favorite skincare products?
I don't use any.
What do you mean? Like you're talking soap and water?
I don't regularly use any skincare product.
Really? When you have access to
I
all
do. And trust me, I have any kind you want, I got it. But I don't my skin's very, very sensitive,
Yeah.
and I've noticed that if I don't put anything on it, I mean, I just wash Dove soap, wash it with Dove soap, and that's pretty much it. I've never really had a skincare routine ever,
Oh, wow.
and I
And
don't
what are
have bad skin. I don't get pimples and all that stuff.
wow.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with K Skin?
Say it again.
Are you familiar with K Skin?
Is that by Winnie Harlow?
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Have you
I
seen that or
haven't tried it
recommend
yet.
that?
Yeah, I haven't tried it. I do have a couple of my friends that have vitiligo that have tried it and they like it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not a big person putting stuff on my skin. I just don't.
And what about sunscreen?
Oh, yes, I do use sunscreen.
Oh, okay. So what's your
Yes,
favorite
ma'am.
sunscreen?
So I got this new one when I was in St. Martin that I really, really like. I don't know the name of it. I got it in my bathroom, but it's really good. It goes on smooth. It's not heavy. It's really nice. So I like to use it on my face. And normally I burn in the back of my neck burns really bad. But for my arms and my legs, I just use a regular spray. Not Neutrogena. It's a oh my goodness. I don't know the name of it. I just use any kind of sunscreen. It doesn't really matter about the sunscreen. I'm particular about my face though.
Okay.
What I
This
use for my
sensitivity,
face.
do other people mention that?
I've not heard. I know a lot of people have like really bad itching spells.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as the sensitivity, I've always had sensitive skin. So I'm real careful about what I put on my skin. I don't use makeup. The only makeup I use a concealer here because I still have hairs and they're black. So to try to cover it, I use a concealer. But other than that, I don't use anything on my face.
Okay.
No
Well,
moisturizers. No, no, no. Mm-mm.
oh, okay. All right. Well, that was a surprise. I wasn't.
I know. I'm bad. It's probably bad, but it works for me. I just wash my face every day, every night, and I don't use all those creams. Mm-mm.
Well, you mentioned the most important thing, which is the sunscreen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you describe vitiligo?
So vitiligo is an autoimmune disorder that causes you to lose your pigment, and it can be characterized by white patches. So,
And then you were diagnosed with vitiligo. You had your own challenges, and you were motivated to offer support to other people, the support you wish you had yourself at the time of diagnosis. And
mhm.
you founded Beautifully Unblemished, a vitiligo support group. So, how do you describe it to other people?
How do I describe beautifully unblemished?
Hmm.
So, beautifully unblemished, we are a support community full of resources. We host events. Most of our events are meet and greets for different locations because we're in Florida and There's different regions. So we have a Central Florida meetup, we have a South Florida meetup, we have a North Florida meetup, and then we have a West Florida meetup, which we haven't been able to meet in the West Florida area just yet. So that's one of our next spots that we're going to be heading to. We just did our first meet and greet in North Florida in the Jacksonville area. So we're excited about that.
It sounds really fun. And so, how often do you have these meetups?
So we meet every 90 days, every 3 months. We try to go to a different place. 2 times a year we meet here in Central Florida, and then the other times we're meeting in different areas of Florida.
Wonderful. And what is your mission and vision for the organization?
So our mission is that we want to increase public awareness of vitiligo and support services for those affected by vitiligo and and the families through education, healthcare, and outreach. Our vision is to inspire and empower and encourage every individual affected by the change in appearance from vitiligo.
Wonderful. And how long have you been in existence?
So we've been in existence 6 years.
Okay. And how's the journey been?
So the journey has been great. We started out when we launched in March of 2018. There was 3 individuals that attended our launch that had vitiligo. I think we had a total of like 30 people that attended, but out of the 30, there was 3 of us that had vitiligo. And from 3 people now to, oh my God, over 400 people now throughout the state of Florida, we have been able to extend our reach, to different areas in Florida, and not just Florida. We've extended our reach worldwide. So I'm really excited about that.
And you mentioned your first episode that the first kind of support that you found was on Facebook. So those people who attended that first meeting, were they extensions of the Facebook group?
No, so they were invited by individuals that knew that I had vitiligo. And so in the community, anytime someone meets someone with vitiligo, they share my number, my name, and those individuals, I think my sister reached out to a couple of them at church. For some reason, her church has a lot of individuals that are living with vitiligo. I know at least 10
Oh, yeah, that
that
is a
have
big.
vitiligo at her church.
Okay, awesome. And so then, I guess who was your part of your initial team? Like, how did you kind of form? Was it just you running everything in the beginning?
So in the beginning, it was Tonja. Yeah. She was doing it all. She was planning the events. She was seeking out, individuals to join. And I think it was we went live on the news in 2018, August
Mm,
of 2018. And once we went live on the news, people started reaching out to me.
okay.
I want to be a part. I want to be a part. I have vitiligo. I want to be a part. And so in 2019, we established a board, so more individuals came on board to help us out. So yeah, now we have a team. We have a
Wonderful.
team of, we have an advisory committee. We also have our board, and we also have medical interns from different colleges throughout the state of Florida that help us.
That's wonderful. And do people just contact you through the website to offer their support or sign up? I guess.
They contact us through our website, through our Facebook page. We also have a closed Facebook page
Okay.
just for individuals that have vitiligo. And then we have our Beautifully Unblemished, that's a public page. And so many times individuals will reach out to me. Hey, I met a guy at the grocery store. He has vitiligo. I gave him your card. And then, a week or two later, then that person will reach out to me and say, hey, I have vitiligo. They go on our website. They can fill out the Get Involved. There's a Get Involved tab. And then
Okay.
they can fill out our demographic survey.
Wonderful, wonderful. And who do you serve?
We serve all individuals. We don't just serve individuals that are living with vitiligo. We serve their families as well. And we also have opened up some of our events. Well, all of our events are open to the public, but we've kind of geared more to helping those individuals that have other skin disorders like psoriasis, HS, eczema. We've opened our meetings up to them as well, because there's no support here for someone that has psoriasis or someone that has HS. So they come to our meetings and gain information as well.
And it works really well with the name of the organization, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have atopic dermatitis, pretty bad on my neck, actually. So, I mean, I can't hide that. I mean, I
Right.
guess I could, but I don't wear turtlenecks. So I appreciate that you understand that the mental impact of that and how it stretches beyond just vitiligo, and
Mhm.
how important it is to have that support, because it's not really something people think about unless you're
Right.
actually going through it yourself.
And
And
some of our members, they are affected by different skin disorders. So we have individuals that have vitiligo. We have individuals that have vitiligo and alopecia, vitiligo and psoriasis, vitiligo and eczema and lupus. So we have a variety of skin disorders and different autoimmune disorders that are, not just vitiligo. We're affected by several of those. So we felt like it was a need in the community, and so we just open it up to anyone that wants to come. They're welcome to come.
speaking of who do you serve, what services do you offer? What does that support look like?
So for us, we're a resource, and we're right now beginning to offer a program, mental health. We're working with mental health counselors so that we're able to offer counseling for those individuals that want counseling. And what that means is someone that may not have insurance, but yet
Mhm.
they want to have, they want to get mental health counseling, that we would be able to give them the money to pay that copay so that they can get that counseling that they need. So we're working on starting that really soon. We just did the proposal, so we're just kind of doing the back end work for that. And then there's other services that we offer. We go into schools and we talk to students. We educate the community. We have community events where we educate the community on what vitiligo is. Um, and we are working now with our youth to get them more involved, our youth that have vitiligo, just having some type of programs and services for them as well, group therapy for them. We've done what we call our youth Vit Chat, where it's all online, it's virtual right now, where we have meetings where the youth can just kind of interact with each other.
To participate in both that event as well as sign up for counseling, do you have to be like a member, or what's the process like? Or
No, you don't
application?
have to be a member. If you need counseling, you say you have vitiligo and you need counseling and you want to seek counseling, you just contact us and we'll get you set up with the therapist, because most of them are virtual. So you don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. They do virtual services as well. So
Wonderful. And this is just for people located in Florida?
for right now, it is because some of them are only licensed for the state of Florida. So we're looking at different avenues that we can take for individuals that live outside of the state of Florida.
Wonderful. And so you kind of hinted at your events and activities. So do these usually I guess, what kind of venue do they usually take place at? And what can people expect? Are they like half a day, the whole day, family friendly?
So normally our events, so our meet and greets, we usually host them in different areas. So usually it's in Orlando, the Lakeland area, the Tampa area, Jacksonville. They're usually 2-hour meetings. And during those meetings, we usually have a speaker, a motivational speaker that comes in. We usually have someone that shares their personal journey. And then we kind of have some free time where we can just fellowship and talk and just have that community where people are feeling comfortable. There's no judgment. It's a safe zone. All of our meetings are safe zones. There's no judgment. And most of the times people feel so free that if they cover any other time when they come to the meetings, they don't cover. And it's just so nice to see that, and that people feel like, okay, when I come to the meeting, I don't have to cover. And so that makes us, to me, it makes me feel really good because they feel comfortable enough to be able to be vulnerable and share their spots. And so normally we host two major events a year, and that's Mind My Skin. That's a mental health um, seminar, and that's usually a half a day. It's from usually 10 to 2. And this seminar, anyone is it's open to all skin disorders. Anyone can attend. And we usually have a dermatologist that comes in and speaks about the dermatologic overview of skin disorders. And then we have a mental health counselor or psychologist that comes in and talks about the mental health aspect. And then we do a patient panel where we have the patient, we have patients, we also have medical providers that are sit on that panel, and we have community leaders, local and state representatives. So this year we had the police department came in, they sat on the panel. The mayor couldn't come, so the police department came, and one of the captains came and sat on the panel. We had dermatologists on the panel. We had clinical psychologists on the panel. We also had school psychologists on the
Mm.
panel as well. And we had patients that were on the panel. It's
Wow,
a
that's
well attended event. We all this year we offered free melanoma screenings.
oh.
So it's really, really nice. And then our second event, our signature event, is our walk. We do an awareness walk in September, and that's open to anyone. Last year, we had over 200 people that showed up for the walk. So this year, it's open now. Anyone can register. You can walk virtual. If you're in another state, you can participate still and walk during the same time that we're walking. We do 5K, so it's 3 miles.
Wonderful. Do you give out medals or t-shirts?
We give out T-shirts. Last year we gave out T-shirts and medals. I'm not sure if we're going to do the medals again this year. Most people are interested in a T-shirt,
Mm.
so
I
we're
like
not
that you brought
sure.
Oh, okay. I like that you brought up children. So one thing we try to do here, we're three black women, black women who identify as being straight or cisgendered. So we just like to make sure that we're always thinking about people who aren't sitting at our table. And
Hmm.
so we like to think about those vulnerable populations. So you brought up one of them, which are children. Did you want to elaborate a little bit more on their experience or what kind of support they need or problems you see?
So most of the problems that I see in some of the youth are they become isolated as well, like adults. Um, I know right now we have some teenagers. They're in between that. They're in that teen stage, and they're not as receptive as they would have been, a couple of years ago. They're getting into this a different stage of teenage, being a teen, and not wanting to attend the meetings because they got other things they want to do. So what we've been trying to do is really, really keep them involved by asking them what they want to do, engaging them and saying, hey, what would you guys like to do? What would you like to see? And so this year, they told us they wanted a photo shoot. And so in January, we did a photo shoot for the children, and it turned out amazing. It was very empowering. The self confidence that these kids had when they were doing their photo shoot was amazing. And so we're happy that we were able to do that for them. This year, also last week, three of our families were able to attend Camp Victory, which is a kids camp for vitiligo, brand new this year. It was the first one that they had did, and we had three of our families able to attend that event. So that was awesome.
That sounds awesome. For all these different events, do you have sponsors or are people able to sign up and sponsor?
So we do have sponsors for the Camp Victory. The Global Vitiligo Foundation was able to get sponsorship for all the families to attend. They didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. So that was great. But normally for our events, for our walk, we do get sponsorships. For some of our events, we get sponsorships.
Okay. And what other ways can we support you, both as the public and from healthcare
So
industry?
there's several ways. Just bringing awareness to vitiligo is one way you can support. That's if you see someone that has vitiligo, share our information with them, let them know that there is a support community. And other ways, you can donate to our Beautifully Unblemished group. We are a 501c3 organization, and your donations will go and help support our different programs that we have, our different resources that we provide for individuals that are living with vitiligo.
Wonderful. And then you said something I was gonna add on to. This happens a lot, Tanja. I should write things down more.
Yes, okay.
Man, I was gonna say something about that. I think it had something to do with supporting you guys, but
And then, another way too, you can support if you know of any organizations that are looking for speakers or
oh,
looking for information about vitiligo, we're happy to share information.
okay. In terms of like physical
Yeah,
pamphlets or oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we have our infographics. We can share that information. If there's, different conferences where, they're looking for a patient perspective,
Hmm.
we're available to do that as well.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's perfect. And I like that you gave attention to the children. I love that they wanted to do a photo shoot. I think that speaks volumes to the work that you're doing. And I
Hmm.
can only imagine how fulfilling that is for you, knowing that journey and being able to offer what it is you wish you had and see
Hmm.
what that looks like, how it
Hmm.
manifests.
Yeah, I some days I sit and I cry because
Mhm.
I did not intend for this is not what I intended for Beautifully Unblemished. My thought process is that we were going to be like, Alcoholic Anonymous, where you
Hmm.
come in, you sit in a
Oh,
circle, you share, and we cry, we laugh, we go home.
hmm.
I didn't intend for it to get as big as it has and the reach that it has gotten, but God knew. I didn't know, He knew. So some days I just sit in awe because I'm like, oh my God, we started out with 3 people, and I didn't know anybody that had vitiligo, and now I know a whole community of people that have vitiligo, and God has, orchestrated where I'm in, my feet are in rooms that, I never thought I would be in, speaking and just bringing awareness to vitiligo. So really excited.
Well, we're so grateful that you have dedicated your life to this, right? You're building your legacy through the time that you're putting in. She still works full time, people.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm so glad to hear you have a team now that's helping you, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's making a difference. You're sleeping?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I get 8 hours of sleep a night.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you should ask me.
I get my sleep. I get sleep. And I think a lot of times is, like you said, you're going to go on a sabbatical, me being able to say that. I hope I'm able to say that one day soon, because I don't want to get burnt out. So I'm really pacing myself and, trying to make sure that okay, you get done with one event, you got another one coming up, but the team, they're working, they're getting there. They're not 100% there, but they're getting there. And so we're taking baby steps because most of them have never served on a board, including myself. We didn't know that all that's entailed in running a nonprofit. There's a lot. It's a lot. And now that the sponsorships are coming in, the money's coming in, being able to manage all of that, and the individuals that contact me on a weekly basis. I get a lot of contacts. Matter of fact, I got a contact last week, young lady in Hawaii that wants to start a chapter under Beautifully Unblemished in Hawaii. So that those things are happening now. People are contacting us. Hey, we want to be a part of Beautifully Unblemished. How can we be a part of Beautifully Unblemished? So that shows that we're doing a great work.
You're doing a fabulous work. And you also told me, didn't someone, I don't know if it was, I can't remember which part of Africa, but didn't someone from the continent call you too?
Yes, they already have a group, so she reached out to see, that we can all share information.
Oh,
So that's been great too.
that's wonderful. You know what I think is beautiful about your story? Not only the transparency that you shared before and how you reached out to resources, built a community that you wish you had, and now it's flourishing, is that you're one person. And so many of the times we come across obstacles or challenges in life and we feel like there's nothing I can do because I'm just one person.
Hmm.
and you show exactly how one person just has to take one step,
Mm-hmm.
have one idea, and be committed to that idea. And really, the resources will come your way. God
Mm-hmm.
will give you what you need, surround you, take your vision,
Yes.
your little
My
idea,
little bit.
and blow it up.
Yes,
And it's all
that is so
because you
true.
had faith, right? You had
Mm-hmm.
faith, you had heart, you had love, and you had a personal experience that tied you to that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just went for it.
Yep.
And you don't know where it's going to go. That's kind of the
No.
whole point. You
Yeah.
don't
You
know.
don't know. I don't. And some days I'm looking like, okay. I was laughing the other day because my first talk, I only had 5 minutes. And I think the second talk that I did was 10 minutes. Then last year, I believe in Tampa, I had 30 minutes. I only did like 20. This year, I was given a whole hour at the World Vitiligo Day conference. And I was like, I got an hour. So it just shows you how that little becomes much.
Exactly. And it's not going to go anywhere if you don't take that first step.
Exactly. Yeah, got to take the steps. So I'm grateful that I'm grateful that I allowed myself to get to the point where I can embrace my vitiligo and say that I have vitiligo and vitiligo does not have me. And that has been my motto because I don't want to be, you know, put in a box because I've got vitiligo or put myself in a box because I have vitiligo, but I want to be able to shine and be that beautiful butterfly that I can be.
Well, Miss Tonja Johnson, you are shining beautifully unblemished. In fact, as we close out, what are 3 takeaway points for that one person who feels like I'm just one person? What difference can I make?
Well, just set your dreams and just go for your dreams. Imagine where you want to be and how you can get there and just do it. Don't think about it because the more you put thought into it, it's not going to happen. You just got to do it. You just got to step out on faith and believe God that he will give you the desires of your heart, and he will make the path straight for you. You don't even have to worry about it. He'll make it straight for you. So just step out on faith and just believe. Whatever you believe that you can do, you can achieve it. It's the sky's the limit.
Thank you so much. It's been a joy to have you on both times. I'm so grateful that we had that chance encounter at the conference, and
Yes.
that our friendship will continue and our work together will continue. We know that the time you've spent here today and in your previous episode bringing awareness is going to make a true difference, not only those people who are newly diagnosed, but who've been on that journey, maybe suffering in silence, now realizing they no longer have to do that, but also for the friends, the families, the neighbors, the church members, the ministers, and the healthcare providers will now be able to give them a resource that they can reach out to. And they're like, look, I know this. I know that there's a way for you can get some help and some support. And I think you did a really great service by bringing attention to the mental health aspect, how
Hmm.
important it is for us to speak to our legislators and just tell our story, and that even people in high positions still have room to grow.
Hmm.
Well, we thank you so much, Tonja Johnson. Remember, everyone, you can email us your questions or show ideas to tmi.melanin@gmail.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on every social media platform. Say hello in the comments when you get there. Please share the show with your friends and rate us on the Apple and Spotify podcast. Leave a comment there too. It really helps get the show more support and gets the message to those who need to hear it. We'll put all the links to our social media links, as well as how you can reach out to Beautifully Unblemished. All the resources we brought up today will be in the description box for your convenience. We release new shows weekly on Sundays, noon Eastern, on YouTube and all your favorite podcast apps. Actually, if you're a real follower, sometimes we open it at 5 a.m. Just for those of you who are real supporters, to give you that sneak peek. And if you're on your way to work, especially if you work at a hospital, you can listen before you go to work or on your way home. Shout out to the night shift. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Tonja. We look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next time.